Okay, this is the third video for the application
Hi,
Marlowe.
I'm Marlowe. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by everything you're trying to keep in your head, I can help. My job is to track what's going on in your life so you don't have to. No lists to maintain, just helpful reminders so things don't slip through the cracks. But first, let me get to know you. Tell me your name and a bit about yourself. Who you are, what keeps you busy, the people that matter to you. The more you share, the more useful I can be. Most of what's on your mind right now lives in your inbox. Connect your Gmail and I'll quietly review it in the background, pulling out what matters. I never store the messages themselves, just what you need to know. You can skip this for now, but the real value of having me around comes from this. Without it, I can only help with what you tell me directly.
Okay. So now I'm going to connect to my work account so we can see it's more active, and we'll see more about how this actually works. So continuing to, did I, anything else to click here? No. So to Marlowe, checking this, search your email messages. It doesn't really search it, but continue.
Connected
Okay.
is Jason at jspyarchitecture.com. Once we finish setting things up, I'll start showing you tasks from the past day's email within a few minutes. I'll also keep reading further back to learn who matters and what's ongoing in your life. That part takes longer.
All right, so what Marlowe does when it first connects is it goes, like it says here, the last 24 hours and the last day, it searches for tasks. So when it reviews emails, it's looking for something that might be a task or something that the user needs to do. What it's doing in the searching the last further back, that's 150 email threads. And what we're trying to do there is get some information about the user, you know, who they are, what people they connect with. It's kind of like metadata. It's not, you know, paragraphs. It's fixed things, you know, where you live.
Thank you, Jason.
Okay.
The first tab is always today, where I'll keep what genuinely needs your attention each day. Beyond that, here's how I'd suggest organizing what I track for you. Sound right? You can tell me to rename, add, or remove any of these. The Today tab stays as is. If everything looks good, just say so.
Okay, so I'm just going to move forward past this so the user can change the categories. All right, so now that we're in here, I'm going to try to show you, to give you a better sense of how this all works, is looking at, this is over here is my work account in Gmail. Jason at jspyarchitecture is here. So this is my account. It's in a Gmail server. So what we're going to look over here is this should be searching for the last 24 hours for emails. And we're going to see, you know, how it takes an email and puts it into this system here. So here, the first one is review F8's revised deck railing detail and submit to Notion. So what's happening there is this one. What we have is FA is a structural engineer, and we have a project where we're having an issue with this deck railing. Actually, I see that Marlowe marked as a priority. I think because the language we're using in our emails, this is a very important issue and it needs to be done very quickly. So here it's kind of made two tasks related to this. I think we are trying to find ways to get this to be more consolidated, and maybe Marlowe will consolidate a little bit more. But we've had a lot of emails, so we're trying to get you know, some of these things that are on the same email string consolidated. But let's look at this. So FA, finalized deck railing detail from FA with 8-inch center to center spacing and installation letter. I think it just updated that. Now there is 14 options here, or items. So what you're seeing here, like here's an email I just wrote, to FA that we're trying to get this detail worked out for a railing. And some of the issues that FA had brought up, you see this thing about this the 4'7" spacing and the 2x4 top rail, 8-inch center to center spacing on the bolts. I think there's a lot of emails here, so I think that's part of what's Marlowe's struggling to get this into one task. But let me see if I can find some of these. These are the older ones. Those are 13 days old. This is the attachment that we're talking about here. This 8-inch minimum spacing is the 8-inch center to center spacing that's in the installation letter here. The 2x4 top bar is this, and the spacing that we're talking about is 4 feet 7 inches on center is the spacing approval. So these are all kind of like the issues that we're working through, and I guess Marlowe's marked these all as priority, but you see here's another one. They're all for the same real issue, is trying to finalize this detail. Now Notion is the kind of online information submission to the contractor. So you can kind of see here all these things are related to this kind of email string, and what Marlowe has done is review the emails and try to bring out what is happening and what's important, what needs my action. And I think that's what we're trying to get Marlowe to do, is instead of you having to write down your to-do list or like action list, is Marlowe is looking at an email, trying to pick out pieces that are important. And if there's an email that it looks at, it has nothing that is considered a task, then it just bypasses that email. So it doesn't save the email. So it looks once and tries to go back, or it looks once, decides if there's a task, and puts it in to the screen that you see here, and it can't go backwards. So I'll ask it a question. Can you go back and review the latest email from FA? They shouldn't be able to.
I don't have access to your email directly. I can only work with what's been summarized in my context. The most recent activity I have on Ife is from today. He acknowledged the expedited request for deck railing calculations, provided an interim SSK for field progress, and committed to delivering a final stamped detail sheet and installation letter. Before that, he had rejected your earlier detail for incorrect spacing and committed to correcting it to 8-inch center to center. If you want to paste the email here, I can help you make sense of it, update tasks, or draft a reply.
So I think that's a good example of what Marlowe can do and can't do. Is it kind of takes a first pass, looks at the email and tries to extract information, but it doesn't save any of the whole email context. It knows who FA is. He knows that there was those details that we were discussing in the emails, but it's not something that is saved in Marlowe. And I think that's one of the things we're working on, is trying to allow Marlowe to understand what's been an ongoing task instead of just keep adding tasks. But let's look at another one. Incorporate attic staircase extension. That one's a little more complicated too. So review MW machinery metal fabrication estimate for the California kitchen. So that one is something I got today here, and something like this is Walter. So sliding conditions, which is only fun. Okay, so that was that one. I feel like where was the maybe it was a separate string. Hold on one second. Oh yeah, he emailed the pricing separately. So here, this came in 9 hours ago. we've asked this steel worker for pricing for some custom metalwork. So this is the email that we get from him. Guy, his name's Walter. The company is MW Machine, which is part of his signature. And Marlowe extracted from that I got the estimate and I need to review it. So that's pretty accurate. Some of the other things are, I have meetings tomorrow. This one actually is old, and this one is confirmed, and this is another client. So this is related to that metalwork where I have a guy making the welded parts, and this guy's gonna nickel plate it. So I'm trying to get that. See, I didn't actually receive the estimate. So I think it says I have to receive it and then send it, but I haven't gotten it yet. This is, we got a response from a historic preservation commission, and they asked for a different color brick. So this is the kind of summary of facts that we get out of the emails. The Today tab does show anything that is physically on today, like if it's scheduled for today. But I also kind of use it just as, where I am trying to finish today. So I kind of triage. This is like the first level triage is Marlowe bringing in tasks, and priority is another way to kind of identify what's important in this larger tab. And then today is, this is what I'm working on today. And if you have, these are really not filled in right now because I only connected my work email. And then in this Marlowe wordmark, I think it's called, this is where you can connect another email. So you can see right now it shows you I've connected this email, and I can disconnect it here, and I can add another Gmail or an Outlook account to this. You also can turn off the voice of Marlowe if you don't want to hear it. I have just like a tips for them working with Marlowe, the privacy policy, which opens up the page on the website, as does the terms of service, and if they wanted to contact me for any questions. So that's in here. So there's really no, there's no other pages. It's basically this kind of widget that lives on your desktop, and it just inputs these tabs here. And I think that's why, in terms of the reading the emails is just trying to extract tasks that you need to work on. And I think, at least for me, the whole purpose of this was, I got emails from work, I got emails from my daughter's school, and a lot is coming in. There's things that I might miss, and that stresses me out. So trying to have Marlowe reviewing them and creating these lists for me gives me some reassurance that I'm not going to miss something. I hope this is a more detailed experience description of how Marlowe works and what it does and what it doesn't do. I guess if you have any other questions, you'll email me. Thank you.